really interesting article regarding the squad rules for this season and also the European rules for next season. We've been speaking about it a lot with the likes of Lucas Bergvall, Archie Gray. If we do go and sell Lucas Bergvall and Will Lancashire, who's Ruben now, how's that going to affect us for next season if we are back in Europe? But also, we're going to look at the squad rules for this year in the Premier League and how the squad stacks up right now. So in the article, it says this season will bring less problems Spurs face in previous years with being unable to register players in continental competition, simply because obviously they have not qualified for Europe, but also because the Premier League rules are more relaxed. That's mainly because the club's under 21 players do not need to be included in the 25-man list. You are eligible to play in the Premier League. To be considered as an under 21 player for this coming Premier League season, players must be born on or after January the 1st, 2005. That means a number of players such as Sousa, Mason Meslier, Mikey Moore and Will Lancashire, as well as Archie Gray, Lucas Bergvall, Wilson Odobert and Matty Tell can all go on the under 21 list. For once though, all of Spurs' summer signings are far too old to get on that list, and that makes a spot on the non-homegrown list as well. We have also included returning players from loans for now, despite them linked to moves away. Currently, that means that Spurs have 20 non-homegrown players. So if we can bring up the graphic.
This one.
Yeah. So we've got 20 non-homegrown players. Only 17 are allowed. The likes of Manuel Solomon, Kota Takai will move on. Vicario and Romero, obviously, probably going to move on as well. However, Spurs must be wary about that number if they're looking to bring in further foreign players, such as Savinho. Javi Simmons could potentially be left out the initial squad and be brought back, in which he arrives from his ACL probably around January time, and unlikely to play competitive football for the remainder of the year. What I found interesting, he says that Andy Robertson is actually not homegrown.
He's not homegrown.
He's not homegrown because he joined Hull when he was like 20, so his training was done elsewhere.
Scotland.
Yes. Kevin Danso obviously is homegrown. Who else? There was another interesting one there. Maybe it was just those two. But anyway, I'll just carry on reading it. It says the Premier League's rules state that a homegrown player is a player who, irrespective of nationality or age, has been registered with any club affiliated to the Football Association or the Football Association of Wales for a period, continuous or not, of 3 entire seasons or 36 months before his 21st birthday. That creates a strange situation where Kevin Danso qualifies as a homegrown player in Premier League terms because he was on the youth academies at Reading and MK Dons for years before leaving England at the age of 16 and later returning for a season at Southampton. However, Robertson does not, because he was first registered with the English FA at 20 when he joined Hull. Spurs currently have 8 homegrown players if the returning Dane Scarlett is included, and now he's too old for the under-21 list. Scarlett is likely to head off, but if Tottenham did go over the 8 homegrown spots, a new signing, then they would have to choose between, for the instance of one of the homegrown players, for one of the non-homegrown players to be sacrificed. So that looks like Dane probably does have to leave.
Well, it's 8 minimum though. So right now he's saying if
no, but you need a squad. You have a squad of 25.
Yeah, but you need
so he would actually take up a spot in the squad, Dane Scarlett.
No, I understand that, but if you were to, let's say, sell Dane Scarlett, does the squad not go down to 24?
Yeah, it would do.
So you're not making a decision between one or the other, only if you have 8 and then another one on top of that.
Correct, yeah, but we're struggling for numbers. What I'm saying, so Dane Scarlett would probably be a full guy.
Well, he's going to be sold anyway. But yeah.
So anyway, this is what the list looks like right now for the squad. So we're currently over the non-homegrown players.
Yeah, but so we're 3 over right now. So all the ones at the bottom and the under 21s, they don't need to be touched. Albeit Bergvall's probably going to leave. Sousa probably on loan. Scarlett's probably going to leave. Scarlett's in the wrong order. We'll see what happens with Lancashire and Moore. But so when it comes to those players in the non-homegrown, we need to sell 3 just to break even with the squad numbers.
Yeah.
And then after that, any more we sell, we can then one in, one out. So right now, we're probably going to sell Vicario. We're probably going to sell Romero. We're probably going to sell Kota Takai or loan him out at least. That's 3 already. Richarlison, that's 4. Sarr, that's 5. And Solomon. So you're probably looking at 6 players.
Yeah.
So we should be okay, shouldn't
Yeah.
we? And that means we can make another room for 3 more signings.
Correct.
If we get all those 6 off the books.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's not really an issue going into next season. It's actually the season after where the issues start to come, to be honest, because talking of that, he says he has a headline saying a messy European future. He says it should be stressed that Tottenham do not have to worry this season about the pitfalls of Europe selection, blah, blah, blah. However, they do want to get back in European competition as soon as possible, obviously, so cannot allow themselves to continue in a vein that has countless players. You can take off this graphic now, and has left the squad in recent years. They don't want to leave themselves with a clearance sale required next summer if they get back into Europe and at the end of this campaign. The main differences between the Europe and the domestic squads are that they go into UEFA's under-21s list. You need to have been at the club for 2 seasons, and also that the homegrown section falls into 2 very different and awkward for Tottenham categories. First of all, the UEFA rules say that no club can have more than 25 players on their A-list during the season, of whom 2 must be goalkeepers. The rules then state that as a minimum, 8 of those 25 places are reserved for exclusively locally trained players, and no club may have more than 4 association trained players listed among those 8 places. If a club have fewer than 8 locally trained players in their squad, then the maximum number of the players on the list A is reduced accordingly. There are 2 different types of locally trained player. One is club trained player, those who have been on the club's books for 3 entire seasons or 36 months between the ages of 15 and 21. The other is association trained player, those who are on the club's books in the same association for 3 entire seasons or 36 months between the ages of 15 and 21. So while Danso is homegrown in the Premier League, he does not fit into association trained category in Europe because he left the age to England at the age of 16. Now for the problematic registration for new young players. In Europe, there is a B list for players who are born on or after January the 1st, 2006. This is for next year. But they must be eligible to play for the club for any uninterrupted period for 2 years since their 15th birthday, for a total of 3 consecutive years, for a maximum of 1 loan period to a club for the same association for a period not longer than 1 year. Players aged 16 must be submitted if they have been registered with the club or previous 2 years without interruption. In recent seasons, Spurs have only had 1 club-trained senior player, which has been Brandon Austin, as they need to register 4 club-trained categories. Tottenham have been required to leave 3 spots open, meaning that the 25-man squad goes into a 22-man squad. However, if they remain in N17, Lucas Bergvall and Archie Gray both become club trained next season. Technically, could have been included in the B squad for this season and next, along with Souza, if he's not loaned out, which seems likely, and Mikey Moore and Will Lancashire will all be club trained for next season. Well, Souza will be on the B list.
Yeah, they'll be on the B list, but Bergvall and Gray will be club trained.
Yeah. In essence, 27-28, Spurs would have a 34-man squad from the current bunch, and this is what it looks like if you bring up the graphic. So, I mean, it is worrying when you're looking at the club trained, isn't it? Because we've got heavy links now, or links for Lancashire to go, Bergvall heavy links to go, which will leave us with 3 spots for the club trained players.
Well, Mikey Moore wouldn't be on the club trained, he'd be on the B list, I think. Well, how old would he be? Maybe
Mikey Moore next season will be
20.
He's 18
20?
now, isn't he?
So he'll also be 19.
He'll be 19 going into next season.
I guess maybe you can include him on the B list. It doesn't really matter though. Either way, he can be included, whether you put him on. So we would. I mean, there's a lot of players there, isn't there? so if let's say we sell Bergvall, so that takes our squad size to 24 with Brandon Gray, and let's say you put Mikey Moore in there or Lancashire, one of the two. So it takes our squad to 24.
Well, it doesn't actually, because we've still got 4 club trained players there. There's 5 on that list.
Okay. So that's assuming you want to keep Mikey Moore.
Yeah, if those 4 players stay for next season, then the Bergvall sale doesn't make too much of a difference on that aspect. It's if more go. That's where the problems lie.
The thing is, Mikey Moore and Lancashire could both go on the B list. Or actually, Lancashire can't, wouldn't he, next season? More, though.
Lancashire's already 21 now.
Yeah, Lancashire can't. So let's say put Moore on the B list. You have Lancashire, Gray, and Lancashire, Gray, Austin.
Then it goes down by 1, yeah.
Doesn't make a difference because the only person you can put in there is Moore, who can be selected anyway, so it doesn't really make a difference. So you can keep Moore in there, you keep a squad of 25, and then how many players we got on top of that? We got 24 players on top of the 25.
There's 24 players in the
European on top
of
the 4, sorry.
There's 24 players in the non-European players, non-locally trained players. There's a maximum of 17.
So basically what you're saying is 7 players from the top list will have to go and 4 players from the middle list will have to go.
Pretty much, yeah.
So that's 11 players off those lists you'd have to go before next season. That's not even including new signings we make this season. So if you're looking at, but no more than 4 players can go from the middle list. So you're probably looking at Vicario. You're looking at, let's say, Romero, that's 2. You're looking at Kota, 3. You're looking at Richarlison, 4. Sarr, 5. Solomon, 6. Yaman Hook, 7. Dane Scarlett, 8. Ashley Phillips, 9. Maybe Ben Davis last season, that's 10. So then you need 1 more, maybe like a Danso leaves,
Ashley
or
Phillips.
I said Phillips.
Oh.
So we've got 10 there, that's gone. Does maybe a Madison or a Gallagher leave? Who knows? Maybe Bentancur, one of these players. Maybe an Odebert or a Tell, one of those 2 might leave before next season. So
that's without new signings.
That's 11 players, and if you add 3, then 3 more need to go.
Yeah.
But those decisions only need to be made next season. Don't need to be made now.
You need to prepare from now. Surely.
I mean, no, you start planning for it, but you don't make it ready. I think you make the squad right for this season. The next season, you make those determinations on who. You don't just sell everyone. You don't even know if you're going to be in Europe yet. So
the thing is, right? If Bergvall goes and Will Lancashire both go this summer, then that leaves you with just Mikey, Gray, and Austin.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean that's an issue for me. Is that not a big issue?
What do you mean? What's the issue?
Because then you're going to have only 3 club trained players going into next season.
Yeah.
And what if he deems Mikey Moore, not good enough to be part of the squad next season? That's also a serious possibility. What if Archie Gray starts getting itchy feet with not playing too much? All these players, their future is not exactly set in stone. All
Correct.
of them.
Yeah. Well, what can we do about it?
I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know.
That's just the hands we're dealt. I think we should make a concerted effort to try and get these players to work, because they're quite valuable if they can be club trained. But if they're not good enough, what can we do? I don't know. It's a tough situation. There's nothing. It's not like there's a lot of options for us. There's very limited options.
Harry Kane would solve a lot of problems right now.
Yeah, get Harry Kane in.
Season.
Get Harry Kane in from the Champions League. He can be on the club trained. We've looked at the club trained thing, haven't we? There's not a lot of talent there for Tottenham to play with, to sign club trained players. Marcus Edwards.
We've missed the Winks boat. He's just gone to someone else. I think he's gone back to Serie A.
Calgary, I think.
Yeah.
Ollie Skip.
Yeah.
Looking at Marcus Edwards.
Yeah, it's just not great, is it? The squad planning at this club, for the European stuff, has been atrocious. And last season just proved it. Mm-hmm. And next season is going to prove it again.
Williams Barnett, people are saying.
Williams Barnett will be a B-lister. He'll be too young. But if he can make an impact, if he can play,
Well, yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, if they're on the B list, then that's fine.
yeah. But if he can play, then, or if he's good enough to play for us in Europe next season, then it's less of an issue because it's a player that can play. But right now, he's not on that list.
Yeah. Yeah. What can we do about it? We need to. This is why you need to start. I mean, to be fair, we have done it with Graham Bergwall. We invested in them, but it looks like we're going to sell Bergwall, which is, yeah, that's part of the issue, I guess. But yeah, I don't know how you solve it. You either tell Graham Bergwall and one of Moore Lancashire, look, you're staying. That's it.
I think you probably have to. Well, you don't have to because they're not doing it. But I would do my best to keep both Gray and Bergwall. Maybe sell a Bentancur and streamline Bergwall instead of. I know Bentancur's the better player right now, but I think in terms of the squad building aspect and the player that Bergwall can be, maybe that's the best course of action.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind that at all. And I've said, like, I would take. I think Bergwall, he's got obviously a bigger future. He's going to be more the future of Spurs. And Bentancur, you can maybe get one good season out of him, and he's probably going to be out of the door anyway. So I wouldn't keep Bentancur, but sell Bergwall just for 1 or 2 good seasons of Bentancur when we can keep Bergwall. But Bergwall wants to leave. I think a lot of it is on him, to be honest, right now. I think we want to keep Bergwall, but I don't think we want to sell him. I think he wants to leave, and it's like, what do we do about that? Do we keep an unhappy player, or do we let him go for good money?
Yeah.
So I would want to keep him as well, but it seems as though he's got his heart set on playing somewhere else. So it's a tough situation.
But I don't think the plan is to sell Bentancur. I mean, if the plan was to sell Bentancur and Sarr, maybe Bergwall will be more open to staying.
No, the plan's not to sell Bentancur.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe that's what the plan should be, for many different aspects.
Yeah, I'd be open to selling Bentancur as much as I rate him. Although he did make a big difference last season when he came back in.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's the future. If we were being ruthless, maybe he should be on the chopping block as well.
Yeah. Well, anyway, these are next year's problems.
Yeah.
For this season coming, we should be absolutely fine. But next year, all these conversations are going to start popping up again, and we're going to have to, be careful.
Yeah, but you don't know where you're going to be next season.
Of course.
Like in terms of not just in terms of where the club's going to be in the table. I mean, what we're going to think about certain players. Yeah, maybe. Maybe Van Hecker's a complete flop and we want rid of him. You never know. Like all these things, you work out next season. Obviously, if all these players we've got and the new signings are all amazing and we're challenging near the top and we don't want to lose any of them, then obviously we've got tough decisions to make. But usually, season to season, players' stocks and all those kind of things, they go up and down, don't they? So we'll see where we're at in a year's time when it comes to it.
Absolutely. But yeah, I just thought it was an interesting article, and that's the state of the squad rules and the squad planning and the building over this season for the Premier League and next season for hopefully being back in Europe.
I think all this stuff is a bunch of nonsense anyway, in terms of why do UEFA enforce rules when we've already got our own club rules? Yeah. We already got our own thing going on. Same with financial stuff. Why is there 2 sets of rules? The whole thing is a bunch of nonsense.
It is nonsense, 100%.
Also, in football becoming more, it's becoming more and more intense. There's more and more games. These stringent rules on squads are becoming more and more untenable because there's more and more injuries. People are going to need more and more of their squads. I think this really needs looking at and adjusting.
But I guess that the rules were brought in to help academies, or to so you use players from your academies and you train players up and stuff like that.
I don't have a problem with those rules. It's the squad size rules I've got a problem with.
Yeah,
and they're limiting it.
There shouldn't be a squad size.
You need to unlimit it because right now it's untenable. These rules are outdated. They're completely outdated. I don't have a problem with saying X amount of your squad needs to be players from your academy and all that. I've got no problem with that. But limiting your squad the way they're limiting it right now.
Or at least make it 30.
Yeah, you
add it by 5.
Yeah. The whole thing is ridiculous. It's completely outdated, and I think a lot of clubs are having a lot of trouble with it. I think out in the European squad last season, pretty much every team had to leave someone out, didn't they?
Yeah, I know us and Chelsea did. I'm not sure. about
Forest
others.
did.
Forest did as well.
Forest had 2. I can't remember who else was in.
I don't think Man City did. I don't think Arsenal did.
Arsenal did.
Who did Arsenal?
They lost out.
Jesus.
Yeah, Arsenal did. Like a lot of clubs did. The whole thing needs re-looking at.
Yeah, I agree. But anyway, let us know your thoughts on that in the comment section below. We've got a members chat.